Yo, what is going on, you guys? Happy Monday, and today, guys, we actually got a brand new archetype that just got released. The Memento archetype is looking like. We are here at, it is currently 11:25 at night on a Sunday. We got a brand new archetype for you guys. I want to go ahead and check it out with you. Now, I only really read this one boss monster that was here in the main picture just because I can't really avoid it. And it is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, it's a 5,000 attack, 5,000 defense, however many stars that is. Might be 11, might be 12, have not counted them. It's a free special summon as long as you shuffle 5 Memento monsters with different names from your hand or graveyard to your deck. And then it can attack each of your opponent's monsters once each, which is crazy already. And this special, you know what, this is way too much to get into, guys. First of all, I'm very excited. This archetype looks really cool. Artwork is absolutely badass, man. Really awesome. Really excited that Konami's actually branching out with their artwork, getting a little more crazy or dark, but still kind of colorful with it. I don't know. It's really cool to see this weird, I don't know, it looks like it should be a Dark World card, but it has a whole bunch of rainbows in it. So I don't know if it could also feel like a what's that, like the Weather Painter potentially, like, I don't know, Crystal Beast. It looks absolutely ridiculously cool. So let's go ahead and get into it, guys, so we can go ahead and start checking out if this deck is actually good or not. So let's go ahead and check it out, guys. Honestly, this is really cool. I already kind of went through half the effect. Okay, level 11 Earth Worm monster, which we know Worm is actually been pretty supported as of recent as well. It has some good synergies there, so there we go. So as I was saying before, guys, we got the boss monster to kick things off. Also, this is a new pack. I don't think I've seen this one before. Forgive me if I am mistaken. So I don't think we know who these two are in the front. We know this big guy, of course, or this one in the back. So we'll be getting some brand new archetypes here soon, so be sure to stick around for that. So anyway, level 11 Earthworm, special summon effect monster, 5,000 attack, 5,000 defense. Ridiculous stats right off the bat, guys. So it cannot be normal summon set, must be special summon from your hand by shuffling 5 other Memento monsters with different names from your hand and or graveyard to the deck or extra deck, which means we should be getting some extra deck monsters very soon. Now I'll scroll by real quick just so you guys can see there's no extra deck Memento monsters that I can personally see, unless there's potentially some already in the TCG, but I haven't seen any unless I'm absolutely tripping. So that is something that is worth considering, that we're potentially getting some more support for the deck, some extra deck support, and it's actually going to be really easy to go ahead and summon this guy out as long as you're actually going through your plays. So if you control no other monsters, this card can attack all opponent's monsters once each. At 5,000 attack, you are beating over everything, guaranteed. So that is insanely good effect right off the bat. Second effect, once per turn, if your opponent activates a card or effect, you can special summon 1 Memento monster from your hand or graveyard. So if your opponent pluses, you're plussing too. Ridiculous. I haven't read any of the other Memento cards. They could all be garbage. They could all be hot garbage, hot doo-doo. So let's go ahead and get into the next one, guys. Honestly, really cool boss monster. Doesn't do anything too crazy. Doesn't get you like immediate negation advantage, but this applies pressure like crazy because you have to address this guy. You can't just leave him on board because he'll destroy all your monsters, because there's no monster that's strong enough to beat this right off the bat. Absolutely ridiculous, except for maybe Ultimate Conductor Tyranno because it can make it into the face down defense position, but that's a whole different conversation. So then we got more. We didn't even read this guy's name. So we got Memento Archetype, the Nether Skull Dragon. That's probably why we didn't say it in the first place, right? So next we got Memento Horn Dragon, level 8 Dark Dragon monster. Those are some nice stats that we already have. Very cool. 2850 attack and 2350 defense. Interesting. So you can only special summon this special summon with the first effect of this card's name once per turn. You can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. So I guess second effect of the card once per turn. So if you have 3 or more Memento monsters with different name in your graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand. Okay, so I'm seeing the theme here. They special summon themselves for free as long as you have 3 different names in your graveyard. It's a little restricting because you need to mainly play a big variety of them, but maybe there's some way to get a whole bunch of them into the graveyard, so that might still be a thing, right? So it's still a free special summon, still very cool. So if this card on the field is destroyed by a card effect, very specific, you can target 3 face-up cards on the field, including at least 1 Memento card. You control, destroy them. So you're basically destroying 2 cards your opponent controls and 1 Memento card you control if this card is destroyed by a card effect. Does that say it has to be your opponent's card effect? It can just be a card effect, which is a little bit more freeing. I really wish it would say by battle or card effects, but maybe the restrictions on there for a good reason, right? So okay, not bad, not bad. Let's go ahead and get into the next one. This one looks absolutely horrific, absolutely demonic. This thing, like a squid horse. So we got Memento Tatsunutsushigo. I hope that's correct. Level 5 Earth Beast Effect Monster, 1350 attack, 1600 defense. Level 5 monster. So if you control no face-up monsters other than Memento monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. Okay, cool. So this free is actually a free special summon as long as you control Memento monsters. No face-up monsters other than, okay, cool. So if you control Memento monster, you can special summon this guy. Cool. So during your main phase, you can destroy 1 Memento monster you control, and if you do, send any number of Memento monsters with different names whose total levels are equal to or lower than the destroyed monster's original level from your deck to the graveyard. Okay, so that's what we were looking for, right? So this is gonna allow us to send those Memento monsters from our deck to the graveyard in order to special summon the big guys. So okay, I'm liking where this is going. Not liking that it's level 5, but I understand why it has to be a higher level, so that way you can go ahead and send more of them to the graveyard. Okay, I mean, I'm picking up what this deck is trying to put down. I get it. Cool. So next we got, let's see. Oh, but it doesn't interact with your opponent though, at all. Wait, unless, did I mistake something? No. That's exactly what it does. It doesn't interact with your opponent, but it does get your engine going, so it's alright, I guess. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Maybe it gets a little bit more, makes a little more sense, right? So Memento Fair Witch, level 3, Dark Spellcaster Effect Monster, 800 attack, 1000 defense. So you can only use yada 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 first. Yeah. We know all that. It's pretty much going to be the same for all of them, right? Unless I'm horribly mistaken. The first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. Okay, so both have a horror once per turns. So if this card is normal special summon, you can add 1 Memento monster from your deck to your hand except Fair Witch, which is perfectly fine. You normal summon this, you search out your horse, and then you destroy something, and you send stuff to the grave, so you're good. Okay, so this is pretty cool. So this gets you, this is going to be your main starter, it looks like, because this gets you into this right off the bat. Second effect, you can target 1 level 2 or lower Memento monster in your graveyard, destroy 1 Memento monster you control, and if you do, special summon that targeted monster. Okay. So it gives you recursion from the graveyard, but I don't think you want to recur stuff in the graveyard because you need the stuff in the graveyard so you can send it back into your deck, especially some of the big guys. I'm not really seeing where this is going, but let's keep it going. At least they're very simple effects. It's nothing groundbreaking, so it's not like it's gonna be horribly complicated to go ahead and play against. But let's see what else is coming up. So we got 2 level 1 monsters, it looks like, and that's gonna be it for the monsters. Okay, cool. So target level 2 or lower Memento monster you control. Special summon 1 Memento monster you control. Special summon. Okay, so you special summon 1 of the level 1s from your graveyard by destroying a Memento monster you control. So after you use her first effect to go ahead and get the horse, you can just go ahead and destroy itself, because it doesn't say other than itself, to special summon 1 of these guys. So let's see what these guys do. Maybe they're like the main centerpiece? I don't know. So let's see. Memento Mace, pretty cool. Let's see, level 1 light fairy effect. I don't feel like this is a light monster. I just feel like Konami messed up in this one. It's definitely a dark monster. Never mind. But 400 attack, 300 defense. You can only activate the first, second effect of this card's name each once per turn. Yada yada yada. So during your opponent's main phase, you can, if you control a Memento Nether Skull Dragon, the big boss guy, right? Quick effect, you can discard this card, then target one face-up monster your opponent controls, take control of it until the end phase. Okay, so pretty good. This is some, right after first effect, it's not one that you want to special summon again. You just want to make sure you have this in your hand or you already have it in your graveyard, send it back into the deck so you can go ahead and summon out your dragon. Yeah, okay, cool. So during your main phase, however, you can destroy one Memento monster you control, and if you do, add one Memento card from your deck to your hand. Alright, now we're talking. There we go. Destroy a Memento monster you control, including itself, doesn't say other, and add any Memento card from your deck to your hand. So it puts itself in the grave during your main phase. Alright, now we're talking. Now we're talking. So, okay, I like this already. It puts itself in the graveyard. It gets you fuel for to special summon your big Memento monsters, and it lets you plus by letting you add any Memento card from your deck to your hand. So it is giving you a +1 by sending itself to the graveyard, because you're gaining resources in your graveyard and you're gaining the additional card. I feel like that's how card advantage works for this deck. It's kind of wonky, but okay, cool. Alright, I can see this. Okay, this is, okay, I knew this looked familiar. This is the Key Mace. Why does that sound so familiar? I'm gonna have to look that up. Okay, so Memento Goblin, also a familiar looking card, but okay. Level 1 Dark Fiend effect monster, yada yada, first to second effect, we know that. During the main phase, okay, the main phase, not your main phase, if you control another Skull Dragon, I'm not going to do that first name, quick effect, you can discard this card, your opponent cannot target Memento monster you control with card effects this turn. Okay, so we are shotgunning this right off the bat to make it untargetable at all your Memento monsters, which is really, really good. Not just one, like a Vanquished Soul has the Caesar, which pretty much makes it unaffected, or whatever it is, right? But it's just the boss monster. All your Memento monsters cannot be targeted. I really like that, and it's also during the main phase, so either player's main phase, this is a decent card. Okay, so during your main phase, you can destroy one Memento monster you control, and if you do, send up to 2 Memento cards with different names from each other from your deck to the graveyard. That's the one. That's the one that we have been waiting for. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the winner right here, right? So this guy gets you 3 names in the graveyard by himself. During your main phase, you destroy a Memento monster you control. Does not say not including itself, so you destroy this guy right here, right? You end his whole career, send him to the graveyard, and send 2 more from your deck to the graveyard with different names. Okay, so now you have 3 different names in the graveyard, no cards on the field, unless you already had the horse in hand. Okay, but we're getting somewhere, Okay, so it's, like I said, not an overly complicated deck to understand. I'm just going to have a hard time with these ratios, because some of them are starters, some of them are half-ass starters, but they don't really do anything unless you have your big boss monster on board. It seems like it's really going to revolve around that primarily, because like this card is really cool, the Key Mace card, the Memento Key Mace or Memento Mace, whatever it might be, because it lets you just take control of your opponent's monsters, so that's really awesome, right? Especially up against like Hashtira or Vanquish Soul, you just take their stuff and that way they can't do anything with it. Really, really good card. I really like it. This one, however, lets you get 3 names in the grave, so it's cool in that scenario, but we have a lot more cards in this archetype to go ahead and look through, guys. This is a big reveal we got over here. Okay, let's get into the spells. So far, we understand more or less how the monsters work. Let's get into the spells, right? So we got Nether Skull Temple Mementorian. Has that been Memento this entire time? So this is Memento. Okay, Memento, Mementorian, whatever. So it's a field spell. Cool, has a field spell. If your Memento monster battles, your opponent cannot activate spell trap cards until the end of the damage step. Cool. Whatever. So second name is a hard once per turn, it looks like. So if a monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target one of them, special summon one Memento monster with a lower level from your hand or graveyard. Okay. Alright. I mean, cool. Wish that was better. Once per turn, during your end phase, you can target one memento spell trap in your graveyard. Set it. Hey, there we go. That's what we're talking about. You can set during your end phase any memento spell trap. You are definitely setting. Oh, these are quick plays. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. This third effect looking like the most saucy, while this second effect looks like half-baked beans. But it's okay. Let's. Okay. So it basically buys you an additional line of defense by being able to special summon another one, because I'm pretty sure the other ones, their big boss monsters, had to get special summoned by it must be special summoned from your hand or graveyard by shuffling. So I don't think you can summon it because it doesn't say ignore summoning conditions unless it's going to be a retranslation, but we'll have to wait and see. Cool. I like the third effect that during your end phase, set any spell trap from my graveyard and set it, because you can actually send any memento card. You don't have to send monsters with this effect, which is nice because you can actually go ahead and send one of your spells and traps and then activate this during the end phase to get it back. I like it. Okay, I see where we're going with this. Very nice. So this looks like crazy card art, man. Memento Bone Party. That's what we love to see. So it's a quick play spell. Obviously, has a little thingamabob. So destroy one memento monster in the hand or face up on the field, and if you do, take one memento monster with a different name from your deck, either add it to your hand or special summon it in defense position. Okay, so you can kind of tag out. It's kind of cool. I like it. I like this. It's weird. It's different. Okay, it's definitely different. I want to say I'm trying to find out where the. I know there was a bit of a pause there. I was trying to look for the semicolon and I couldn't find it. Okay, no, there's no semicolon. You only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn. So can you activate both effects? It's a quick effect. Or do you have to choose one of them? You can only choose the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn. Can you activate both effects? Am I reading that incorrectly? Guys, am I reading that incorrectly? That's confusing the crap out of me. Okay, so in your end phase, I guess it depends on when you activate it. I don't know, super weird. So destroy one memento monster in hand or face up on the field. And if you do, take one memento monster with a different name from your deck, add it to your hand, or special summon it in defense position. Okay, cool. Okay, let's get to the second effect. We're reading this too much, right? So during your main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard. See, I should have read. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one memento monster you control. If it attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing damage. That is hot garbage. That is not a good effect. On to the next one. Wow, that's disappointing. I really thought I was going to do something else, like, hey, you banish this card from your graveyard, you send just one memento card from your deck to the grave. That would have been insane. Or add it to your hand, you know? But I mean, yeah, I guess you're already kind of doing that with this. Fine, whatever. Cool. Memento Bone Back, the really badass artwork with like the punk horse squid. So anyway, if a memento monster you control leaves the field by your opponent, okay, special summon one Nether Skull Dragon from your hand or deck, ignoring certain conditions. Okay, now we're talking. I like this one. This fixes the entire deck. The entire deck is officially fixed because of this one card. We're good. We're good. If a memento monster you control leaves the field by your opponent, no matter what they do to it, if your opponent gets rid of it, special summon your big guy, ignoring summoning conditions, you're good to go. Plain and simple, ice vanilla. I don't know what that means. So if your opponent moves a memento monster out of your graveyard while this card is in your graveyard, so if you get the Bastille, this activates, you can banish this card, special summon as many memento monsters with different names as possible from your hand and or deck. What? I'm sorry. Wait, what? This does who? So if your opponent moves a memento monster out of your graveyard while this card is in your graveyard, you can banish this card and special summon as many Memento monsters as you want with different names as possible from your hand and or deck. So you're saying I can summon out 5 Memento monsters for free. This card is ridiculous. Who wrote this card? What is this? Holy crap. So you can summon out this guy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can only special summon this card. Yeah, 5. You can summon out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for free. And then let's say they get Torrential Tributed or Darkhold, then you summon this guy out for free and you're in the clear. This is ridiculous. Okay, so they don't immediately gain you a lot of, it doesn't interrupt and it doesn't play in the way a natural deck would, where you have to interrupt your opponent. I feel like it just summons out a whole bunch of monsters for no reason, and especially summons a big freaking guy, and you beat the brakes off your opponent with a 5,000 attack monster. I think this is kind of what it's getting at. This is a crazy effect. Holy crap. I can't believe I read that correctly. This is crazy. And what's wilder is that I'm going back to this card. This definitely has to be a 3-of. I keep going back to this card. You can send this to the graveyard, right? And then with this card, you can reset the bone back. Right, the field spell can reset the bone back, so your opponent knows you're gonna go ahead and activate this, right? To special summon another Skull Dragon, okay? And then if they get rid of the Nether Skull Dragon, you activate. No, it's not that. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. Okay, never mind. Okay, I read it incorrectly for just like a slight second. But you still have Nether Skull Dragon on your field. Okay, but they're gonna want to get your cards out of your graveyard, so you can't shuffle them back, so I can summon another Nether Skull Dragon or just more of my higher level monsters. If they do that, they DD Crow me, they Bestial me, they do anything stupid, they get the slap and smack down with this. This is crazy. Absolutely blows my mind. If I would have said from hand or graveyard, I would have said, okay, this is, I mean, I get it, the deck is trying to fuel your graveyard, it's kind of cool, but if you don't have any monsters in your graveyard, there's nothing. This is from hand or deck. That's wild. That just blew my mind. But enough of that, guys. Let's go ahead and get into the traps. We are deep into this video. Normal trap card, Memento Fractured Dance. That dude is not dancing, first of all. You can only use the first, second effect, each one's per turn. If you control a Memento monster, target one card on the field, destroy it. Then if you control Skull Dragon, you can destroy one more card on the field. Alright, that's cool. It's like an Icarus attack, except you don't destroy your own monster. You target, if you control a Memento monster, target a card on the field. And then if you control the dragon, you can destroy another card on the field. You can destroy any 2 cards on the field. It's like Sword Soul Blackout, but you don't get rid of your own monster. It's like Icarus attack, but you don't get rid of your own monster. That's crazy. So when an attack is declared involving a Memento monster and an opponent's monster, you can banish this card from your graveyard. All face-up monster your opponent currently controls lose 1,000 attack until the end of this turn. Wow. Which works perfectly with the Nether Skull Dragon because it can attack all your opponent's monsters. Wow. This is rude. Okay, I see where you're going, Konami. This is a really cool effect. Alright. They really say battle-oriented decks aren't good. It's not necessarily a battle-oriented deck, but it has a lot of really good battle-oriented cards. Or like a few niche, I should say, battle-oriented cards and effects that just are ridiculous in the right hands. Just saying. Memento, Cranium Burst, Continuous Trap, and the last card of the deck, guys, that we have so far. You can only activate the second effect of this card's name once per chain, not once per turn. This is once per chain. That is a dangerous phrasing right there, my friend. A lot of DDD cards are once per chain. and that can do some nutty stuff. Anyway, so your opponent's monsters must attack Memento monsters you control with the highest attack able if you control any. Yes, this is what we this right here is what we needed. Very nice, very nice. Now I would love it if it was like you can only target and you can only your biggest monster can be destroyed or whatever. I mean, you know what? I'm complaining about nonsense. It's a good enough effect. Cool. So when your opponent activates a monster effect on the field, not just anywhere, on the field, you can target one Memento Tecticola Nether Skull Dragon you control. It loses 1000 attack and defense, and if it does, negate that effect. It has 5000 attack. You got 5 monster negates on the field. Excuse me? When your opponent activates a monster effect, you can target one Nether Skull Dragon you control, and it loses exactly 1000 attack and defense, and if it does, negate that effect. Holy crap. That's crazy. That guy has 5000 attack and defense. It's only once per chain? It's not once per turn? What are we doing here? This is ridiculous. Holy crap, so you get 5 monster negates on your opponent's turn. I mean, of course, after you negate 3 monster effects on the field, I would assume your opponent is able to have some type of monster on the field that's worth fighting. So you beat over the Nether Skull Dragon, but at that point, you already negated 3 effects. You're in the clear. You're chilling, as they say, right? This is crazy. And it's a trap effect. It's not even if Fenrir can't activate. Special summon Fenrir, activate Fenrir effect. Great, negate. You still have a 2400 attack monster to my 4000 attack. Okay. Declare attack of Fenrir, activate Fenrir effect on Nether Skull Dragon because you have to attack the one with the highest attack. Negate effect is still stronger than your Fenrir. This is crazy. This blows my mind. This is going to be a very fun deck to play. I can tell already. I mean, these are some anime-ass effects. Konami, wow. This is different. This is cool. Yeah, I'm just blown away. I mean, this is a really cool deck. It looks like a lot of fun to play, honestly. I'm very excited for this. I want to go ahead and get started in the lab. I'm all excited, and it's almost midnight now. This is crazy. I can't have this much excitement when I'm about to go to sleep. Honestly, this is a really cool deck. I'm very excited to see what other types of support Konami's going to go ahead and release for this. I don't think it's an anime deck, so it's not going to get any of that love. But it's a really cool deck. It has a lot of very niche interactions, so I'm excited to see how this is actually going to play out in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And practice here in the TCG. So we'll see how it goes, guys. But anyway, let me know your thoughts on this deck in the comment section down below. Sorry if it took a little bit longer than usual, but I mean, it had a lot of really cool effects. Honestly, I'm just really excited we got to go ahead and experience this together for the first time. So leave a like down below, subscribe for more. We got some fun deck profiles and live tools for you guys coming up, and we'll see you guys in the next one.